Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing
I'm
today?
great.
Okay, I'm Brianna Vag. I'm going to be asking you a few questions about your Discourse community.
All right, I'm Joel Lebarb. I'm the chair of the theater department.
Thank you. So, what is your role in this theater department?
As the chair, I am in charge of kind of coordinating all the logistics. So, scheduling, budgets, meeting with students, meeting with outside stakeholders, producing the main stage season. So, in some ways, I operate like a traditional academic chair, but then I'm also the producer of our main stage season.
Okay. And why did you decide to join the theater department?
Well, I came here right out of graduate school, and I always wanted to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I happen to teach is theater and theater arts. And so, this was my first. I came here again right out of graduate school, and just worked my way up. And now, this is what I do.
Okay. Do you feel as though communication is a necessity in this department?
100%, because that's all we do.
Mm-hmm.
If you when you came in, you may have seen it on the wall. It says communication, collaboration, and creation. Those three C's are what the theater department's all about. And the first one is well, I think the first one listed is communication, but that's what we do in our discipline. Is we're communicating the lives of characters, stories, narrative. But to do what we do, to do a play, which is a 100% collaborative event. It's not like a visual artist can work just by themselves, or a musician and so on. But theater involves multiple people, and it only works if people can communicate and collaborate.
Okay. Is there a language that is specific to the theater department?
Like a vocabulary,
Yes.
there is a vocabulary, and we probably use words and terminology that others might not understand. And it's just evolved over time. It's a way that we communicate. A lot of it has to, like if we say a dry tech, what is a dry tech? Well, we all know what that means. It's literally going through the cues in a show just on paper, so not in real time. But we all know what that means. Or, even simple things like the green room. The green room is the lounge where all the actors gather before the show and during performance. Why is it called that? Nobody knows. But yes, there's a very specific vocabulary that you learn just by doing theater.
Oh, okay. So, do you guys learn this more so just by being around the theater, or do you guys actually teach these words in
Well,
class?
it's a little of both. It's a little of both. In classes like introductory classes that students will take, this vocabulary is shared and defined. But a lot of it, to be honest, is just learned by osmosis, just being around and observing.
Okay. In terms of practices and events, how do you communicate with your actors?
As far as like during rehearsals or performances,
How do you guys know when to come to rehearsals and what time to be here and there?
Sure. It used to all be out in the hallway is what's called the call board. And literally that's where, back in the day, before technology, you would post with paper the call, which was next day's audition times and so on. Well, now it's all done electronically. All the call times and everything happen electronically. But it's all through the internet and email and so on. But not so very long ago, like when I started in theater in high school and college, it was all through paper, and it was on the call board, a piece of paper that told you this is what we'll rehearse tonight, this is what time you are to show up, so on and so forth. But now all internet.
That's cool. How important is the audience role when it comes to the theater department?
Well, you can't have theater without an audience, right? Because we rehearse and we prepare, but until the audience comes in, it's only half of the equation. So theater only really occurs when you've got the audience, the actors, and there is an interaction between them. It's the interaction that makes theater occur. If not, it's really kind of a one-sided thing. So that's super important.
Okay. In terms of your shows, what are the main sources of communication with your audience?
How do we let the audience know about our shows? A lot of it now is through technology, is through the internet, through Facebook, and so on. We still use traditional print media like newspapers, our season brochure, which we send out in the mail, our website, and so on. So, which I guess is considered more technology. It's pretty traditional. It's the way most theaters communicate nowadays, which is there's a paper version of everything that's sent out, old school methods through the mail, and so on, and then through technology, through the internet.
Okay. And is there any language important for your audience to know when watching these shows?
People will disagree on this. I think an audience member should be able to come to see a show and know nothing about theater and still enjoy it and be able to learn something from it. Now, some of my colleagues disagree and say, oh, you need to be an educated audience member and you need to have basic understanding of the art form and so on. Sure, okay. I still think if you're doing your job well, anyone, regardless of their experience, should be able to come in and take something away from coming to a theatrical event.
That makes sense. So, for all the people that do believe that the audience should be educated, how would they expect the audience to know these things or to learn them?
You can take a class like Theater Appreciation that we offer here at Purdue, which is basically learning to appreciate theater by learning the parts and pieces that make it work. It's like anyone can drive a car, but if you can understand how a car works, you can appreciate the function of the engine and the styling of the car and the aerodynamics and so on better. Everyone can drive, but if you understand how it works, it makes you appreciate it more. So that's one way. A lot of people who are really educated about theater, they just read. They read articles in magazines and reviews and so on. So you can either take a class or you can learn everything on the internet now, allegedly. And so there's so many resources there. So you can educate yourself or you can take a class.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, thank you very much. That's
You're
all I have
welcome.
for today.
All right, thanks a lot.